Creative Mind. My name is Timmy, and welcome back to another DIY session with me, guys. So, guys, in today's video, I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this boo A-line dress, anyway you call it, you're seeing on your screen. So, I'll be working with this Ankara fabric I have here. This fabric. I'll be mixing it with this lace. Then I'm working with this bias and I have my zip. I want you to get your matching thread, get your scissors and everything, and let's get right into it, guys. So guys, before we go ahead now, let me quickly ask you a question. Have you subscribed yet? Have you turned on the notification bell, guys? Why now? Oh yeah, let's quickly do that. So just, can you see just right below? Yes. So now I want you to go ahead, take all your measurements that you've been needing, which you can see on the screen. Yes, the measurement. Now let's go ahead and take the measurement so we go right into it, guys. See you. Now the first thing you want to do is you want to consider the widest measurement you are working with. In your case, it might be the bust, it might be the hip. Any of the widest measurement is what you are going to use to place the fabric on fold. Okay. Now for me, the widest measurement I'm working with is the hip, whereby the hip circumference of the person I'm working with is 64 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and use that 64 to place my fabric on fold. I'm working with hip circumference of 64. Now 64 divided by 4, 16. Now it says that placing this fabric rather on fold now, I need a width of 16. Then I can go ahead and add up to 5 inches to it. That 5 inches will be serving as my seam allowance and as well as the widest I want at the end of my dress. Okay. Now once I'm done folding, I'm going to go ahead and create my starting point, because automatically this point is not going to be straight again, and you need to create a straight line which marks where you start from here. Okay. Now once that is done, the next thing is place my back measurement. That's the shoulder to shoulder width. My shoulder to shoulder width is 20, divided by 2 is 10. So I'm going to mark the 10-inch point. Then I'll add extra half inch to it. Now from that point, now that's the extra half inch point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. Now from the CF, here is my CF here, I'll come in and measure 3 inches. The 3 inch serve as my neck point. And once that is done, I'll connect the 1 inch point, which I come down, the 1 inch I come down by to that 3 inch point. You can see now. Now once that is done, the next thing is to place all the other measurement. So I'll be using, I'm working with a plus size, so 10 as my armpit line. So I'll come here to measure the same 10 inches. That's because I'm working with plus size. So now the next thing I'll do is on this 10-inch point now, whatever I have here, I'll bring it down here, which is 10 and a half. So I'll measure that 10 and a half so that I have a straight line. This straight line will be helping me in shaping my armhole perfectly. Then I'll go ahead, extend this bust line to outside. Now it simply means I'll be bringing my bust circumference here. Now my bust circumference divided by 4 is 15 1/4. 15 1/4. So whatever your bust circumference is, you go ahead and divide it by 4. Mine divided by 4 is 15 1/4. And I'll add my seam allowance or ease. Now depending on what you want to do, you can work with 2, you can work with 1 and a half. So I'll be working with 1 and a half because I don't want it to be too much. Now the next thing you want to do is measure the half length, that is the length to waist. Now mine is 17 inches. On this 17 inches is where I'll be bringing my waist circumference. And my waist circumference divided by 4 as well is 15 and a half. So I'm measuring the 15 and a half. So that is my waist divided by 4, 15 and a half. Now from this waist point, I'll go ahead and measure my hip level, which is just 8 inches below the waist point. And now my hip measurement divided by 4 as well is 16 inches. I'll come here and measure the 16 inches. Please, when you are doing yours, I want you to go ahead and work with your measurement. Don't forget the seam allowance 1 and a half, 16 2 plus 1 and a half. Okay, so this is the seam allowances that I have, and then let me connect it so that you can see. I hope you can see this. Okay, now this is it. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and get the M. The total length of the dress I'm working with is 55 inches. Then I'll add 2 inches. The 2 inches is going to be my bending allowance. So that means I'm working with length 57 now. So I'll measure this 57. Once that is done, I can go ahead and connect it on the straight line, please. On the straight line, whatever you do, make sure your measurements are connected on the straight line, as you can see. Now the next thing for me now is whatever I have on the hip level for A-line dresses, that's plus my seam allowance. Remember, whatever I have here plus your seam allowance, which now I'm having 17.78 here. Now, bringing it down to the end, you can add 3 to 5 inches. It depends on how wide you want the hem of your dress to be. So remember, I'm having 17.78 there. So I can decide to just add 2.5 or 3. I can do 4, 5. But please and please, no more than 5. No more than 5. If I 5 at times may be too much. It now depends on how wide you want the hem to be. So for me, I'm just adding 2.5, which is what I have here. And I'll go ahead and connect it all the way. So I'll be connecting it all the way. So this is what I have now. You can see. Now that is all I have now. Now the next thing we want to do is to come over here and shape the armhole. Now to shape the armhole, this is what we do. Get the midpoint, which is 5. Come in by half. This is for the front. Then here you come out by 1. The 1 here is constant, but the half here for the back we will be doing that. So I'm just going to use this now to just shape. I'll just shape it this way, and now that is it. Now the next thing is, so now once we are done cutting out the front, this is the front. The next thing now is place your fabric on fold. Now we want to cut out the back. Then don't forget we are going to be using a zipper for this. It is optional now, but I want to use it for my. So now at the CV here, I just left 1 inch all the way down to the hem, and I'll be cutting this out now. Now I'm here to shape my neck. I haven't done that, so I'll just cut this out. Let's go ahead and do so at the end. Okay, now this is what we have. I'll cut off the excess here, and this is it now. So you can go ahead, open up the back. So now this is what we have now. Now the next thing is going to be, we want to go ahead now and shape the neckline. Depending on whatever neckline you want to use, if you want to stick to what we have on the screen or you want to create yours. Now let's go ahead and do so. Now for the neckline, this is the back, remember, this is the front. So now the back is adding 1, let me just fold it in so you don't get confused. Now this is everything the same thing now. Now the neck width must be the same thing. Now I'll be using 4 inches as my neck width. This is the 4 inches point here, I've marked it. Now for the back, I'll be using 2 inches as my neck depth. That's for the back. But mind you, I'm measuring it on the front. I'm going to cut it off. And this is it. Now for the front, I can decide to use 4 by 4 or 4 by 5. It depends on whatever I want. Then I'll simply go ahead and shape my neck for the front. So now let's go ahead and cut it. Remember, this is the back. Now the back neckline is ready. It simply means that I don't have any business with the back again. So but I still have business. I'm marking this to note where I'll be sewing in for my zipper allowance all the way down to the end. Okay, so by the time I remove it, I hope you can see the line now. Now I'll keep this aside now. Now let's go ahead and open the front. Remember we shaped this armhole, but actually I did not cut it. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. That is to say that the front and the back neck, armhole does not have the same shaping. This is because the front has the bust, while the back just has the back just flat. Now this is it. The next thing we are going to do now is 2 things. We want to go ahead and shape the neck, and we want to go ahead and cut out the net that we have. Let's get to it. We want to go ahead and cut out the lace. As you can see on the style, you will notice that it is getting to the shoulder point. But yeah, I'm just going to manage what I have here because this is stopping before the shoulder point. So now let's go ahead. Then it is not getting to the end, it is just stopping somewhere around the end. So that is what we are going to do. But I'm folding the net all the way. Let me go ahead and pin it down. Next lace I'm using is a see-through, so I can easily see my Ankara. So instead of me going ahead and drafting anything, I'm just going to pin it. Just take your time, pin. Make sure you pin it accurately, okay? Now, it's stopping somewhere around this point. Now, what this simply means is I'm bringing my ruler from this shoulder point here, and I'll just connect it on a slant line. As you can see, it's a V shape. So let me use my measuring tape. I'll bring it from here and all the way to this point here. So my dress length is 57. That's the actual dress length with the bending allowance 57. Now I'll be using length 45 as where the fabric is going to stop, because as you can see on the style, it's not getting to the end. So I'll just mark it so that I can bring my scissors and cut through. So please just take your time. Take your time. Need to stop at 45 inches. 45 inches. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off now. Please do not take the Ankara with you. I'm cutting off just this. Do not make a mistake of cutting the Ankara piece out. So this is the excess I have now. I'm going to remove it. Okay, now. So now this is it now. Now the next thing we are going to do now is we want to trace all this lace and shape the neck. So now, and that is that for this part. Now the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead, cut the sleeve once and for all before we now go ahead and start joining. So once we are done with the sleeve, the next thing now is you want to add the lace that you'll be using as the end extension, just as we have on the style. Remember, this is the lace, you can't place it on fold, so you just need just one. With length 3 inches. So I'll just measure 3, mark the points. I'll measure 3, mark the points here, measure. This now to cut one more piece. Now we can go ahead and start sewing. This is it. We can go ahead and start sewing everything now. So now guys, let's get right into it. So I'm going to go ahead to my sewing machine now. I'll place this, making sure that the right side, this is the right side of my fabric, matches up with the right side of the lace now. Now this is it, and I'll sew half inch. I did the 2. Is either you sew half inch or you sew 1/4 all the way. Anyone you know you can manage. So I want you to go ahead sew it all the way on both sleeves. So guys, let's get to that now. So remember I asked you to sew half inch. I've sewn the half inch and I've stop stitched it. Now on the right side, this is the right side of the sleeve. So at the end of the day, what we are simply going to do is to fold it over on the outer part now. Then you want to bend this lace in slightly and top stitch it all the way down. You just make sure that it is accurate and it is straight, and you top stitch it all the way down to the other end. By the time you are through, this is what you should have now. This is my sleeve now, and this is the net on it. So remember, we cut it wider than the normal measurement. So I'm just going to trim out the excess I have. I'll do the same thing on this side, trim out the excess I have. Now, working with the back, another thing I've done here now is, remember we added 1 inch for zipper allowance at the back. So here I've sealed it all the way and I've fixed in my zip. This is my zip now, I've fixed in my zip. Now then for the back now, we are going to need a facing for the back. So let's go ahead and cut out the facing. So that facing will be what we use to turn the back neck. I'll put it on fold this way. Then I'll bring this down. So this is what I'll be using to cut the facing, which I'll need from the back. Now this is it. Now I'm simply going to go ahead and cut this out now. So you want to check, making sure that all the fabric are well laid on each other. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead now, cut this out. Cut the neck out. Everything all the way. And once I'm through, I'll cut this piece too. So this is simply my facing that I'm using to turn the neck. So this is what you do. Open the zip down a bit. Make sure that you pick it right side facing right side. Now this is the right side of my fabric. This is the right side. So I'm going to bring it right side down, facing right side, and I'll sew half inch all the way. Once you sew it, go ahead top stitch it and use it to close this part. I'll be doing the same thing too with this too. Right side facing right side. I'll open it up to the zip area, sew half inch all the way. So let's go ahead and sew half inch all the way. Once you are done sewing and top stitching, the next thing you want to do now is to fold this inside. Don't forget to press it this way, and you sew half 1 inch. Making sure you sew it close to that zip tip, but you don't want to sew on that zip tip. Now, at the end of it, this is what you should have. This is what the inside should look like, and this is the inside of the facing area. So we are going to now go ahead, set aside the back now. Then we go ahead and work with the front. Now, the front, remember, we have this lace fabric which we are going to be top stitching on it. So the first thing you want to go ahead and do is this. We are doing 2 things now together. Now this is this. I'm going to put it aside. Open this. Remember I said I'm using white. Let's work with the lace alone first. Now you want to go ahead and pick your lace on the right side, right? On the right side, bring your bias, any color you will be working with. Sew it, maintaining this 1/4 of an inch that is here. So you sew it all the way up. I'm done using the bias to take the edge. Now let me show you what I did here, because I want this V to show very well. So you can see what I did here. I brought this, making sure that it laps each other this way. Now this is it now. Now we are going to go ahead now. This is it. The first side came here, while the second side crossed the other way. Now the next thing we are going to do now is to quickly go ahead, use this net to turn. But I'm simply going to use it to turn the neckline. So it means I'm going to flip it other side, making sure that the right side of my net faces the wrong side of my fabric, so that when it turns it out, it will be the right side coming out. So let's go ahead and do it. Make sure the right side of your net is placed on the wrong side of your Ankara. Right side of the net placed on the right side, or the wrong side of your Ankara. Then you go ahead, seal the neckline all the way. Once you are done, you can go ahead and top stitch it, and let's come back to do the next thing. Guys, this is it. I've turned the neckline, as you can see. Now the next thing we want to do is we are going to be working with the thread that matches the color of your bias, because now you want to turn it over this way and you want to top stitch it all the way. So now this is what I'll be doing. I'll simply arrange it very well and pin it so that it makes sewing easy. Then I don't want it to shift, so I want you to do the same thing too for yours. Press it all the way, arrange it, pin it, so that by the time you sew, everything is going to be well arranged. So now we want to go ahead now and top stitch it all the way. So at the tip here, I'll slightly have to bend this over. So this is what I'll be having here, so that it still give me that pointy edge at the end. So now let's go ahead and sew all the way. Fold your bias this way, fold this way, and seal that tip, the tip of the bias. That's where you are sewing. You fold it all the way, you seal it all the way to this point. So let's get to that. Guys, once I'm done sewing, this is what I have. If you see, I run a stitch all the way down. So that is that for the front. The next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and seal my shoulder. So I'm bringing this over to this, matching up the shoulder, and I'm folding this to the back. So I'll match up the shoulder and I'll seal it all the way. So I'll be taking ½ inch all the way. I'll be doing the same thing too for the second shoulder. So you just go ahead and seal your ½ inch all the way. This is it. You can see this is the shoulder seam. You can see the inside it's so neat. Now the next thing we are going to do now is to go ahead and seal in the sleeve. So I'm going to go ahead and seal in the sleeve. Remember, I've notched the midpoint, so I'm just going to seal it all the way. Just seal your sleeve all the way. And once you seal, you want to close it by 1.5. Remember we use 1.5 seam allowance. So I'm just going to seal ½ inch all the way. Once I seal in my sleeve, I'll close it by ½ inch all the way, so that the 1 inch will serve as the ease I want on the garment. Then I'll be bending the hair. So guys, I hope you enjoy watching the video. Don't forget, if you want yours to have a pocket, do not hesitate to seal in your pocket. And that is it for this session. So guys, I look forward to seeing yours. I hope you enjoy watching the video. So this is me trying to show you how it looks. So hopefully the camera carries all the various locations. So guys, thank you for watching. See you. Bye bye.